Vladimir Putin. He's as different from his predecessor, President Boris Yeltsin, as any two political actors could be. Yeltsin believed in democracy for Russia. Vladimir Putin just pretended he did. During his more than 2 decades in power, Putin's anger and disdain for the West has been simmering. And yet, on the world stage, he largely kept the lid on.
Most people believe that he was a pragmatic authoritarian ruler, and he certainly had these beliefs and grievances against the West, but he was very careful in the way he acted.
Angela Stent is a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution and is one of many who've been sensing that something in Putin has changed.
2 years of isolation during the pandemic maybe have affected him. Maybe his grip on reality is somewhat less than it was before, or he's more of a risk taker.
He's grown more resentful, more isolated, more erratic, more furious at almost everybody and everything.
Before becoming the editor of The New Yorker, David Remnick covered Russia for The Washington Post, and he won a Pulitzer Prize for his book, Lenin's Tomb, The Last Days of the Soviet Empire.
If you had just one word to describe Vladimir Putin, what would it be?
I think at this point, isolated. Politically isolated from contrary advice, isolated as much as he can manage it from his own population, and isolated from reality.
Putin was a young KGB officer stationed in East Germany in 1989 when the Berlin Wall came crashing down. Putin saw the fall of the Soviet Union a short time later as the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the 20th century. It was as if he himself had been humiliated.
He takes all this personally.
Well, yes, we all take things personally, but we don't invade countries as a result.
Putin was virtually unknown back in 1999 when he rose to power. He quickly set about curating his image as a dynamic and charismatic leader, virile and hardly modest.
Strength and power are everything to Vladimir Putin. Every interlocutor who comes from another country to meet with him is made to wait 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 hours. That's all about this kind of novel that he's writing in his head about the great Putin.
He's gone toe-to-toe now with 5 U.S. presidents, all the while growing more uneasy of democracy, seeing it as a scourge, sweeping closer to Russia's sphere of influence. Any form of public uprising, no matter how small, he believed, had the West behind it pulling the strings, and that he was the ultimate target.
If a fight is inevitable, you should strike first, hit first.
In 1999, he called on the Russian military to attack separatists from the Russian Republic of Chechnya, branding them as terrorists who deserved no mercy, and he gave them none. When gay rights protests erupted in the lead-up to the 2014 Winter Games in Sochi, Putin saw it as an attempt by the West to embarrass him during his big moment. The crackdown was relentless. It was that same year Putin invaded and subsequently annexed Crimea, using the unmarked Russian troops, who came to be known as the Little Green Men. But even then, some worried that that occupation was just a morsel. It wouldn't satisfy his appetite for power. His full-scale attack on Ukraine this past week proved that Vladimir Putin's hunger shows no sign of abating.
This is a disaster, and it's a disaster that's unfolding every day, and it's a chapter that will be written in blood.